This is the One Beer and Podcast, episode 44. 44. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we have a very special guest, a good friend of the podcast, Mr. Bryan Andino. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Doing pretty good.
Not bad.
Hate my life.
No,
As usual.
It's pretty depressing.
Sounds good.
Off to a good start for 2015.
I'm miserable.
You're down, but you used to live here in Orlando, correct?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Castleberry, Florida.
Local.
So.
Big town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Represent.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh. That's the noise of the police sirens because we're so dangerous over there.
It's true.
Oh yeah. When'd you move?
I moved up in late 2012. Funny enough, my first day in Chicago was December 31st. So it was weird celebrating New Year's Eve in a central time zone. It is one of the most boring things I've ever experienced in my life. Like I watched we had to stay in a hotel that first night. And we're watching the New York ball drop, and it was just like, to me, that like, all right, now it's New Year. Like, to me, that is what means New Year's.
Right.
And then, like, an hour later on WGN, which is the Chicago station, there was this really sad countdown that I was like, yeah.
What? Does anything drop in Chicago besides bodies?
That's about it. No,
Zing!
The temperature.
Yeah. Far below zero, that's for sure. But no, it was so boring.
Just drive a Zamboni across the finishing line or something.
That's how you get to work. So.
Oh, okay.
This is off subject, but we get WGN on Bright House?
Yeah, we do.
I watch the Bulls like every night.
We have for a long time. Funny enough, I don't know why.
Yeah, even I knew that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just
had it
saying,
since we were
fuck you.
kids, I think. I know I had it when I was a kid. I used to watch the Cub games when I was just a kid.
Yeah,
before even
just a
kindergarten.
cub.
Is your family from Chicago?
No, nobody. No family, no nothing over there.
Well, I know there's Second City, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know you were a Cubs fan, right?
Yeah.
And you're a Bears fan.
Trying to become one, but it was pretty tough this season.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Sports
with Dave.
So I mean, so it just kind of like worked. You know, it kind of fit together to go there for something, but also being a fan of the.
Well, you know what's funny is like growing up, I loved, and I know this is gonna sound cheesy as hell, but like I loved Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I just thought it was such a fun thing to like. I'm gonna take the day off and do everything the city has to offer, and it was just like a fun little thing to see.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, over the years, so many movies have been filmed there, so it's kind of become a neat little staple for filming locations of late over the last few years. And
Right.
I don't know, I just always had some weird interest in Chicago, and you know, loved the Cubs as a kid, and just little things here and there, and it always just had some odd connection to it.
Yeah.
So the idea of finally getting there was like just bizarre.
Plus Batman.
Of course, yeah. Well, they because Dark Knight was majorly filmed there, and it was just total nerd out for me to
Yeah,
see everything. And
you're the go-to connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For these topics.
Yeah.
pretty much.
For the uninitiated, Andino is Batman.
And we are initiated.
Yes.
had to get it in.
Had to get it in.
At one point.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, but it did coincide with it worked well going up there for Second City, correct?
Well, yeah. One of the funny things is like I kept going back and forth, and I know Adam's been kind of discussing that about what he wants to do now, going out and pursuing things.
Right.
I was at that crossroads a couple years ago where I just didn't know, like, I could go for it, but then I could live comfortably here. Mm-hmm. And it's just that inner battle of living comfortably or risking everything to chase something that you're interested in. And I'd let a lot of petty excuses get in the way, whether it be like, oh, my parents' health or school or my own just fears of leaving home. Because at this point, I never even left my home. I still lived with my folks. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I got to a point where I was just like, I had this one day, it was in late November 2011, that I was like, I had a good discussion with one of my good friends, Christian, who moved up there to do Second City. Mm-hmm. And just talking to him, and he's a real introverted person. So to hear him speak so lividly and so like you could hear how outgoing this has made him and how much fun he's had. And it was almost like one of those moments, and like I said, it was just a crossroads where I realized I have to make a decision right now. Like I have to either go do this or just except I don't do anything, and I just did not feel comfortable about that, and I had to do something. So
Yeah.
Had
that's when I
to
made my
kind
decision.
of shake yourself, just say fuck it, just
Got to do it.
Yeah, and well, that's when I realized it was the right move, because I was as scared as I was excited.
Right.
And no matter what, when you make that move, you're scared.
Yeah.
You know, to leave your comfort zone.
For sure.
That's a scary thing. But when I realized, like, I'm getting goosebumps from being nervous as I am excitement. I was like, you know what, like that's as good as it's gonna get as a sign to go do something.
Yeah, for sure.
So you go to Chicago for Second City. Now, kind of explain to people who don't know what Second City is.
There you go.
The Second City is an improv comedy school, but it's not just improv. It has it's sketch comedy, and they do stand up as well, and some acting as well. A lot of very big names have come through there. Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Chris Farley, Tim Meadows, Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell. Just the names go on, really. And it's funny because I keep finding out. I think I know the majority of everybody who's gone there, and then I'm like, oh, Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer Simpson. I'm like, whoa, he went here, and then like Julie Louis-Dreyfus, Elaine from Seinfeld. I'm like, she went here. I was like, this is crazy. Like, I just keep finding out little nuggets of other big actors and entertainers who have gone here, fine-tuned their craft, and gone on to do incredible things. And you know, there's no guarantees. It's not like you can go to, you know, a 4-year college and you get your degree and like, all right, now I'm qualified for this job and I've got my degree, so I can get it. Going there, let's be honest, doesn't guarantee shit. But the fact that you can gain so much experience and so much, just the relationships you can make with people. Because I've already made some fantastic relationships with people that, like the guy I met on my first day of class, I'm going to be one of his groomsmen.
Nice.
This summer, yeah.
Nice.
So we obviously hit it off great, and you know, we worked together great on stage. And he made a point to even change days with me when I had to change my shift with work for class schedule. He's changed with me, and you know, for better or worse, we've had a hell of a time together, a lot of fun, and again, it just made so many awesome connections. So far.
I say that's probably the biggest thing for you to do is make those connections and meet people.
No, absolutely, because you know, for all I know, you know, I may not get the opportunities myself, but some guy I made a great impact on, or some girl I made a great impact on, she'll be like, you know, that Bryan guy, he was pretty good. Like, you know, he might be good in this. And then I might get that opportunity just out of nowhere, out of the blue like that, which is just, it'd be crazy, but, you know, crazier things have happened in life and in the entertainment industry. So.
Oh, yeah.
Why Second City, though?
I chose Chicago, Second City, because I felt like, ideally, I'd like to be an actor, entertainer. So I could be an actor or like something along the lines of like SNL, like an entertainer actor on there. But to me, I realized if I go to LA, I'll never make it. If I go to New York, I'll never make it because I'm a goldfish in an ocean up there. And there are incredibly talented people who moved there. They know Hamlet by heart. They know every play that's ever written. They're reading constantly. They are prepped, and they're far better prepped than I could ever be. And a lot of those people, who knows, like maybe 90% of them may never get the opportunities they deserve.
Right.
And I felt like I don't want to get out there and just be one of the many faces.
Right.
I wanted to go somewhere. And by no means, you know, Chicago's an incredible town, beautiful city. But I kind of look at it as far as like, to me, it's like a stepping stool. And I feel like I'm going to be bad-mouthing here, but I look at it like the minor leagues. Like I'm going here to fine-tune my craft, to get better, to learn, to observe, to fail, to fuck up, and realize what works, what doesn't work, and then apply that. Hopefully, I'd get asked to go to New York. I'd get asked to go to LA, as opposed to going there and frantically trying not drowning, as opposed to going there with the life raft already.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's probably how most people feel going out there, though, because I don't think that's anybody's real end game, you know, just to go there and that's the end of my career. So I think, it's a smart way to go about it.
Yeah, instead of going straight to LA or New York and floundering, you go somewhere that's still outside of your comfort zone, but you know,
hone your craft.
Right, exactly, and then go out there. You have you're building your resume, giving yourself credentials.
Yeah,
saying Bryan Andino from Second City is a lot better than Bryan Andino from Orlando, Florida.
Castleberry,
Florida.
Castleberry, Florida.
It's a lot better.
So,
but, you know, that's the thing. Like, so many people will make it for themselves just going straight to LA and by just a random audition. And they get it. And
of course.
And that's great for them. And, you know, no path can kind of be, like, replicated or duplicated. You kind of have to forge your own path. And so while I am kind of following a basic outline that kind of like what Amy Poehler and Tina Fey and like Seth Meyers have done, which is like make it in Chicago first. You know, who knows where this will lead me? There's no guarantees I'll ever make it to SNL or any type of show on Comedy Central like Key and Peele, which are two other Second City alumni.
Oh.
So it's just you
Makes
never.
sense.
It's crazy how many people have gone there, attained some level of success, and who knows? Honestly, crazy to think about how many incredibly talented people have gone there, and you know that might have been it, and that could be I could be just one of those people as well. But you know what? That's part of the. I guess the thrill of life and the thrill of pursuing something you want, especially like now's the time for us as, you know, people our age in our mid to late 20s. If you're going to make any decisions that, you know, now's the time to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Things that you might fuck up or whatever, now's the time to do that.
Right.
You're convincing him more to leave.
I
You don't
mean-
need Adam to leave.
I'd only
Make it
convince-
sound terrible.
You don't want to do it, man.
It's awful.
Stay in
I
Orlando.
cry
Mean
every
streets of
night alone
Chicago.
because I have nobody with me.
It's so cold.
But that's
so
besides
cold.
the point. It's still pretty good. But no, and that's the thing. Like, I'd rather, you know, again, there's no guarantee of anything's going to come of this. But the fact is, if I go and, you know what, at least if, let's say, it's a disaster and it doesn't work, but at least I can grow older and become a manager somewhere and be like,
Right.
you know what, I tried and I had a lot of fucking
Yeah,
fun.
and you never lose those experiences. You never lose those memories, and you also come out of it knowing that you tried your very best.
Yeah.
and you have no regrets.
Right,
And I think that's
absolutely.
the best you can ask for in any situation.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think we're all proud of you going out and forging your way out there.
I
So
appreciate that.
yeah,
takes a lot of balls to do that.
It does take
Thank
a lot
you.
of balls to do that.
Let's see them.
Yes.
All right.
Show us the bulls.
There they are.
Laid them down.
So I mean, how has it been out there? How's it been in you know, just taking the classes and
I've been over there now just over 2 years.
How are the ladies?
Ow!
that's his first question.
yeah, he asked that about San
San
Francisco,
Francisco,
too.
yeah.
Is that what he asked?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was like the
yeah.
second question.
Ladies.
You're gonna Dupa's gonna visit like Jacksonville, and he gets back like, how are the ladies?
How are the ladies?
Ladies.
I don't know, Jacksonville. I don't know.
You're all right.
I'm sure Jacksonville's a lovely town.
Rambunctious.
No, it's been incredible. I've been there now just 2+ years. I finished this at Second City. I finished their improv program and their acting program, which was a lot of fun. And I felt like, you know, I learned a lot, and I got a lot of experience working with so many different people, different walks of life, ages, and, you know, ethnicities. And it was a lot of fun. And recently I got into the conservatory program, which is just kind of like a little more fine-tuning people out as far as like you have to audition to get into that level.
Right.
And I didn't get in the first time, which I was fine with because I didn't feel very good about my audition. So I was like, no big deal. But I made it in the second time, and it's really fun working with people that constantly inspire you to want to up your game. Because there's days where I'll feel great about class, and I'm still hungry. I still want more. I still want to get better. And I'll have a great scene that day where I'm doing this weird like accent. I'm doing a Cuban accent or whatever, and I get great reactions for it. But it's still like, this guy Diego in class, who's fantastic.
Racist.
He's doing like this great British accent. Like he's a BBC reporter, and he's using these great like, you know, English slang terms that it's just like it fits. It makes the whole thing feel more real and more genuine, and it makes me want to get better.
That's
And
good.
It's
That's
fun.
good. Sounds like a friendly competition that's
Yeah, and
constantly evolving for
and that's
yourself.
the thing. Honestly, it's everybody can shine doing it. Like it doesn't mean like I only look good when David will look bad, like, or David only looks good when Marco's gonna look bad.
I always look good.
Well, we already know that. But anyway, like you can, if you work together building a scene, you can both look like $1 million, and you can both look great. And now, you know, maybe one will look a little better than the other, but one can't get there without the other.
Right.
But that's what improv is all about. Yes, and right. You're always pushing it to the next person. You're always trying to build the other person up so that the scene evolves and is better. And you never want to shut something down.
No,
you know.
no, absolutely. And I've had that happen a couple times in the early stages, which was frustrating because it felt like it's the number one, it's the only rule. Like,
Right.
Like at one time, I did a scene and I started off like, all right, so our key phrase was going to be crime fighters. So we can make whatever we want with that. So I start with this very generic, stand back, radioactive girl, I'll defuse this bomb. And her immediate response was, oh, that's not my name.
Oh,
God.
oh no.
Radioactive girl.
In my
come
head,
on.
I'm like, I played it cool, but I looked at her and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why would you like? You just completely undercut everything.
Yeah, well, because she makes it bad for herself. She makes it bad for you. You're trying to set up a scene.
So how did you react to that?
Well, that's the thing. Thankfully, in that group, I was able to get better at like I like to call that like break glass in case of emergency type moments. Like when things get that bad, you can save it somehow. So when she said, "All right, so stand back, radioactive. Like I'll defuse that bomb." She said, "Oh, that's not my name," and I was immediately, of course, just frustrated because I wasn't enjoying that group already, and then that happened, and I was just like, ugh. So when that happened, I immediately went like, "Damn it, Sasha! Like you keep changing your hero name. Like you were Hawk Girl last week, you were Green Huntress the week before, and then you were Radioactive Girl, which I didn't even know you stopped using. Like I'm spending a lot of money on patents on these names. How are we gonna get any sense of continuity in the city? Nobody knows who we are. You keep changing your name. What is it now?" And you could tell she had.
But you set her. That's an alley-oop.
I set her up again. I gave her something else, but she, she's a very sweet girl, but she just wasn't very good at it, and it was tough, and it was frustrating.
Like you had no choice to destroy her to save the scene.
Well, the funny thing is, like the type of game it is it rotates out with other crew people, like other members. So once me and her got back together, it's supposed to just be a continuation of that scene now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now she wanted to play along. She's like, "Oh, these people need our help," and I'm still frustrated. So I'm miming. I'm smoking a cigarette and I throw it out and I'm like clearing my face with smoke. Like, you know what, Sasha? You ruined the fun out of this. I thought the whole great power with great responsibility was going to mean something, but you took it all away. So I'm miming, taking off a cape and ripping off a mask and I was just annoyed. It was frustrating.
You took out your frustration within the scene.
That's great. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. And
I love that.
I quit being a superhero because you
fucked this.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Things like that. Does that kind of like people they audition and then they make it, but does it still kind of weed out the weak once they get in? Is there still like an elimination process once you've got in?
Yeah. Was Sasha in the audition?
Well,
past the audition part.
Well, that's just the name I gave up for her. So let's just call her. Let's just call her Sasha.
Names have been changed to protect the weak. The innocent. Sorry,
she knows who she is.
You know who you are.
That's not her name.
That was good. I like that. Some people do get into the next level, and I kind of feel like, as much as I love my time at Second City, I also realize how they kind of use their system as just a way to milk some money out of people. So I imagine some people who they're just they're all right. I think like some people, they'll let them into the conservatory program just so they can milk some more classes out of them. Yeah. Because so I didn't get in the first time, but they know I'm going to come back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this other guy who's like, you know what, let me give it a shot. And hey, they took me. And maybe he's not that good, but guess what? That's an extra like $700 they're going to get out of the guy for a couple classes. So,
right.
Yeah. But again, some people do, but some of those weaker ones will get in, and that's fine. The thing is, though, usually, and from what I've experienced thus far, with my program that I'm in now in conservatory, is a lot of really talented people, a lot of fun. I've had a blast, and again, excuse me, they make me want to up my game, as opposed to I almost felt like before. It's just, again, it was constantly break glass in case of emergency. And I don't want to have to do that every time.
Yeah.
Did you, when like in high school, did you do the drama classes and stuff like that? Was there a natural progression to improv, or was this something where...
I think Brian's always been like that.
But I mean, was there something to do, were you doing something that led you to say improv is the way to go, as a stepping stone to what I want to do, or was it just following the career path of someone that you admired?
Well, it's funny enough, just to give you the abridged version, actually. In high school, no, I didn't do drama. I actually only was in drama my senior year because I needed one more elective credit, and it was drama. And I was
I did the same thing.
Whatever. I'm all right. And I auditioned for Grease. At our high school.
Nice.
I didn't get in. I was going to be just a background guy. I was like, whatever. I tried. I gave it a shot. But it wasn't... my heart wasn't in it, so it wasn't a big deal for me. Right. But, I don't know. I always enjoyed performing. And like David said, I kind of always have been this way. Like in elementary and middle and high school, I was kind of the class clown and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I always enjoy making people laugh and whether it be a group hangout or a party or just one-on-one. I just enjoy getting reactions out of people and in a way, like gaining that attention and you know, earning it by being
Attention
funny.
whore.
Yeah, I'm a dirty attention whore, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But again, like, and I have my quiet moments where if I want to be seclusive and be very introverted, you wouldn't, and if you had just met me like that, you would just assume I'm always like that. But I usually, especially now that I'm doing improv, I'm trying to get out there more and get more comfortable, just getting out there and just performing in any way I can.
Does it help? Does improv help as far as like public speaking, being out there and like talking to different people, talking to strangers, being out in like in the public and stuff? Has it helped kind of bring you out more?
No, yeah, absolutely. What was that? It was a refrigerator. Don't worry about it. No, but absolutely, because actually Second City offers out their classes towards businesses to help people in them actually like better public speakers and so they can better do presentations and it helps them gain that confidence to be able to say and do whatever they want without fear of judgment, because everybody else is making just a big an ass of themselves together. So it's not like, oh, this guy looks like an idiot. We're all making ourselves look like idiots. We're all committed to this. That's the point.
Public speaking is like the number one fear in America.
There's that old Seinfeld joke where like the number one thing is public speaking and number two is like death, and the worst thing would be like speaking at your own funeral. That's like it's just a big fear, like public speaking, and I've always felt comfortable with it, but I understand why people don't. So this definitely does help a lot of those people.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely would recommend it for somebody who's even interested in like just branching out of their horizons and seeing something a little different and trying something a little different. I definitely say give this a shot.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I
feel like you're speaking to Marco. he was feeling it.
I'm all about it.
He's about to sign up for SAC Comedy right now.
He wants to.
Yeah. Would you ever like? Can you like go to SAC Comedy Lab and like just be like, well, I'm Second City trained.
SAC is a place in Orlando, by the way.
Right? A comedy club.
Who don't know?
Yeah. And what the funny thing was, like, and I don't know, David, I'm not sure honestly. Maybe if it was like a little bit bigger name, they would be like, oh yeah, come on.
I think you being improv, them being improv, that would be the ultimate improv. You just walk in there and be like, hey, I want to be in a show. I'm improv. Yeah, okay, we're improv. Get in the show.
And you know what? That's how a lot of fun things happen. It's just
exactly.
I've gone to a lot of just they have on Tuesday nights they have like a faculty jam where like some of the teachers will perform, but before that they have opening acts for students. So me and my buddy Matt and some other people we go and we have, you know, again it's improvised, so it's not like we have anything in mind. We just go out there, and thankfully we've always had a pretty good reaction to a great reaction. We've never really had a bad set. And it's a good feeling, because you know you're doing something right, and it's the more you get out there, the more fun it is, the more experience, the more you want to try something new. And again, if you're gonna fail, if you're gonna fail, that's the time to fail. That's the time to do it there.
Yeah, right. Improv, I think, is like the scariest type of comedy, because with stand up and skit acting, all that, you know what you're gonna say. You can feel the crowd before you say it, so you know how to change it a little bit. But improv is just on the fly. And, I got to say I admire people that do improv. When I see them, they may not be huge names or anything aside from Whose Line Is It Anyway being the most familiar. But I've always admired that kind of comedy. Right. Being like, just being able to be that quick on your feet to roll off of it. Like when you told Sasha that she keeps changing her name, that... I would have never thought of that, and that's pretty awesome that you could do that.
No, and I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's the fun is it's my homework kind of becomes just TV, movies, shows.
Right. Studying that.
Even like world politics and what's going on, just so that I can have a little branch in everything that's going on in the world, so that I can use that in my repertoire. I've got those different colors on my palette, and it's fun because now I've got different names, I've got different locations. And I can use them anywhere for anything, and it's great. And then and also the fun thing, and I know there's another extra story with that Sasha thing to go back to.
Of course.
But nonetheless, that's the fun thing. Like as far as like references go, and like being educated in a certain field, whether it be like movies or comics or whatever, if you ever make a reference to me, like as you're performing in a scene. What I enjoy most is if I make those type of little Easter egg references. They're like Easter eggs in the Marvel movies. Like, not everybody's going to get them, but you know what? The people who do, they're going to be like, oh, that's really cool, like that they did that. Right. Now, the guy next to you may not know what that meant, but you know what? He's still enjoying the ride. So it doesn't take them out of the movie type thing, and it doesn't take them out of the scene and the show that is being performed. Right. And that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Because you get that extra little giggle when you make a specific reference to whether it be a character or a school mascot or something that maybe not everybody knows. And there's like 2 people in the audience who knows it and they appreciate it.
I know a lot of people in like the Monty Python crew often have said that Americans don't get all the jokes, but they still love the movies because you're along for the ride and you get the ones that you need to get.
Yeah.
And you're still entertained the entire way through. So I think that's very, very true.
Yeah.
As far as going back to what you were saying about, taking different world experiences, different comedians, actors and stuff, who did you look to as far as like an inspiration as what you were going for? Because you said you wanted to be actor / entertainer, basically. It sounds like an all-around type act, basically. So
yeah, and again, I'm not just, I don't want to limit myself by just saying, oh, I want to be an actor.
Right.
I always like to say it like Arrested Development, like Tobias, an actor. Like, I want to just do it. I just want to go out there and do it. And that's something I also learned, just to kind of sidetrack there, Marco. Mm-hmm. One thing I learned most with improv is, and it made me, and the day it clicked for me was, I thought of The Matrix, which surprisingly, when I use this reference to people, some people have not seen The Matrix, which just blows me away. But it's the scene when Morpheus and Neo are fighting in the dojo. Mm-hmm. And he's like, stop trying to hit me and hit me. And I was like, it clicked to me. It was like, stop trying to be funny. Just be funny. Mm. Just let it happen. And because there's so many times when I first started that I was kind of doing what our friend Curtis would do, which is just do these crazy things you could say and do whatever ridiculous thing you can get out there and see if it sticks. But I realized, like, I don't have to do that. Like, you just have these interactions with people. You have these discussions. And then a moment pops up where it's like it's like a batter and you see the perfect pitch right down the middle and you know it's going to work and you knock it right out of the park.
Right. He knows Kung Fu.
He knows Kung Fu.
So there's nothing, there's no one that you would put it on. It's just in general.
He said Morpheus, damn it.
Yeah, Morpheus inspired me. Next question.
Larry Fishburne.
No, well, just to, honestly, as far as like comedy goes, I can't really say just one specific. There's so many fields of like entertainers and comedy that have inspired me, like Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr and just so many people like and the SNL cast like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who again, that's what is even more exciting is the notion that they went through the Chicago system here,
right?
And it's just all these different like walks of life, all these different things that interest me and fascinate me and get me excited about doing this. That as far as like comedy goes, honestly, I don't think I could pinpoint just one person. It's just many different people that have got that. It gave me that passion and that itch to want to do this.
Yeah. So, I guess to cap it off, what is, I guess, the ultimate goal for Bryan Andino? Like, if you were to reach what you want to reach, what would that be? What does that say?
In a perfect world, if it happened exactly as I would love it to happen, in a few years I could be on SNL, and hopefully from there, I could either branch out to like getting, an opportunity either in a film in a small part, and then just maybe growing from there. Because again, I really want to be an actor, and I really love acting, but I've always naturally had more fun, improvise, well not just improvise, but being funny and entertaining, and kind of like that was my concept. Was going to Chicago, learning everything I can from anything, even getting uncomfortable. I've had to do rap battles and music stuff that I am not at all comfortable with. But you know what? I have to get out of my comfort zone. That's more of me getting out of my comfort zone. And
right.
So ideally, the best thing for me, if it could lay out perfectly, I'd go to New York. I could be on SNL a couple of years. Then from there, I could have opportunities at my disposal to maybe be in small bit movies, and then realize, hey, this guy is more than just comedy. He can do some serious stuff. And that's the thing I kind of would have to my advantage is I would only be known at that point for comedy, so that when I do something serious, it would like just kind of blow people away.
Yeah.
Right? Like I always think, whether you like him or not, I love the compare. Like for Jim Carrey, like everybody always knows him as this ridiculous zany character, and then when you see him in like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, there's nothing funny. Like he's just a normal introverted guy who we've all at some point can connect to in some fashion, and it just felt so real and so genuine, and that's what I love about that dynamic of being a really funny guy, but at the same time being able to be dramatic when I need to.
Right. That's I think I've said this before on the podcast, and we've talked about it before. Like the best dramatic actors are a lot of times the funniest guys.
Yeah.
And it comes from somewhere, excuse me, those guys being so human and so relatable. They know how to make people laugh. They also know how to, tap into those other emotions. And I think that comedic training is really helpful to being a dramatic actor, and being relatable.
Yeah. And another thing I just imagine, and again, I'm very inexperienced here. I'm just going off my own assumptions, and what I see is, as far as like comedic actors and just basic entertainers who are into like comedy, they're not afraid to make a fool of themselves at a joke's expense. So if they're willing to put themselves out there for that, then they're willing to put themselves out there even more for something that's dramatic and that's going to be genuine and real. Whereas if you if you ever see like that water gun squirt to Tom Cruise's face and how like he it was annoying and it was a dumb little prank, but he just took everything so serious. Like, I'm a serious actor. Why would you do that to me? And, just like people are a little more laid back and are okay with like I always think about Conan O'Brien.
Completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
And, I think about like Conan O'Brien, who is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And,
Team Coco.
Yeah, I love Conan O'Brien, and he just so much of his stuff is this really great self-deprecating humor that is hilarious, but at the same time, like, and he's never been put in that position, but I can only imagine how fascinating and how interesting that would be if he was in like a serious role for once. Yeah, it would just be such a completely different dynamic than we'd be used to seeing.
Yeah, we've spoken about this before, but Robin Williams, I feel, is very strong in that regard too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia. Yeah, like he's not in any way comedic in that. It's just him serious, and it's scary at times. Yeah, and it's fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Andino.
No, absolutely.
It's good to have you here. It's good that you're back for a couple of days at least. We get you on the podcast.
Man, I apprate that. Thank you for the invite.
This is cemented.
Yes,
it's legit.
Eternally.
It's recorded now. So if and
maybe
when
we hope
Barry Marco's computer works.
We'll see about that.
We'll see.
Am I the first guest?
Yeah,
sort
he
of.
is. No, he is. No.
Because
Lottie and Gavin.
They were, so they were the first.
You're the
first.
You're
the second guest.
You're the first. I'm number one.
How about you're the first invited guest?
Right. Yeah. There you go.
All right. Cool. Thank you.